I'm glad everybody's here to make something work. So I wanted to do like a little recap of the past meetings that we had. And where the first one we spoke about the issues that we know, which two of them was the lack of resources that we know about. And the second one was like civic engagement. And so the first action that we mentioned was that we wanted to basically get all the high schools, all the mental clinic programs around, so that way we can know how many are there. And then now we could try to see how we could have them engage, so that way we could let them know that there is a lot of programs that we could, reach out to students and let them know that there is out there, which is why I mentioned the high school, because I know that my target is 18 to 26, but there's high schools, I mean, there's students that is like 18, so, and also that have probably brothers and sisters that we could let them know about the program. So, one of the things that I like wanted to do basically was get like a big map and where we could pinpoint where everything is at, right? And then the schools that's closest to them, we could probably use as collaboration with them, you know what I mean? So if, let's say, example, Gompers. Gompers has like three programs or youth programs around it. Then we'll go to Gompers and we'll let them know like, hey, let's collaborate with this agency that's around. So when your kids come out of school, if they want to join these programs, they can, and they're close proximity to either their school. Now, if they can't go after school to these programs, then we'll get them the programs that's in their area, and then we could let them know like, hey, you got the door, you got this and this and that, and then we could closely collaborate with them. So with that being said, I have printed out a lot of youth programs that I've seen, but when I noticed they're not updated, they're from 2009. So I wanted to just recap and see what programs is still existing, and just target which ones we feel like we could work with, and from there, and then little by little, you guys can also tell me if I'm missing anything here that we spoke on. Because I just did like a recap of what we actually had spoken the last meetings, and then for civic engagement, I wanted to get going an Instagram page for the youth, because I know that that's a great way that we can interact with them. Having an Instagram page, promoting. My cousin, he actually just bought a studio, and he mentioned that he would allow us to create content in it. It's all white. The only thing is in Brooklyn, but and we could actually do videos, do content, like do speeches, and little things that we could probably can't do here. So he said we could go, be free of charge, about sponsorship, nothing. We could just go create. It's really big. It's all white. And he's a videographer, so we'll be able to edit it, and in case if we ever want to do videos of anything. So yeah, that's basically what I was wanted to speak on, and just everything will be able.
Okay, I have read this. Chairperson Stephanie, I congratulate you on this. Is very efficient, and I just finished reading it. I make a motion that we officially approve these minutes, okay? And that this become an official part of the minutes of this committee. I just finished reading it. I think this is very efficient of everything we spoke about. And there are goals here that I believe we will be. And thank you very much. So I'd like to make a motion that these minutes be officially adopted.
I don't think it's a minute.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is just me. We highlighting the stuff that we spoke, speaking on.
totally on.
Conversation around these type of.
Right, because then.
Oh my goodness. Why are we
I have a question. So I just want to get a picture of where the demographics of where the board members live. So, Michael, you're in Melrose.
Yeah.
Chris, what section?
Melrose.
What's your name?
Amari.
Amari, welcome.
Thank you.
Clarissa. We should
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, really. Hi. Hi, well, my name is Stephanie. I'm the chair of the young adults. What's it?
Amari.
Amari.
Nice to meet you.
Larissa, chairperson of CB1.
Argelia Ortiz, I'm part of the, community board here.
Michael, as you heard Pimentel, I live up the block, so.
Chris.
I'm Zion Baldwin, Bronx Community Board, one member, and teacher.
Emmanuel, and I live up the block. I guess we have it is Melrose or Wyman, but
What
Miami.
party? What?
156.
Oh, 156 and broke. That's-
Yeah, but I grew up in Mitchell's.
So I'm gonna give you my head.
Yeah.
And I'm right next to the Barrico College. What is
Yeah.
that? Concourse Village?
Oh,
Melrose?
you next to 44 College?
Yeah, like directly next to it. In Melrose.
That's Melrose, yeah.
That is Melrose.
That's Melrose?
So we have you on Melrose here,
Yeah.
and you are
I think
in
150
150th and what?
in Union.
Oh, so you are,
A little bit more up.
Yeah, this side.
what side is that?
That's also.
What you call it?
I
You say prospect section.
Jackson.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Cause I feel like Melrose was Jackson.
So we have you on the, okay.
And
And you also.
Yeah, Jackson.
Who? So I brought that up because I was thinking like, as you go to identify high schools, easy to say like, oh, what high schools are next to where you live? What high schools are next to where you live, you know, and starting with like the high schools that we live close to.
Right.
And tackling that to then say, all right, this is the high school that I live close to, or these are the two high schools that are in my vicinity. Let me identify some programs that are in my area too. So, and that, you know, might be a good start versus like taking on so much of saying, let's identify all the high schools.
Well, no, there's actually not even a lot. He gave me
I
a
know,
list and it's
there's
like
not.
7. So I was like, oh, okay.
7,
Like, it's like,
DOE schools?
Right, so there's, so the high schools in our district are broken up into two potential areas. One is only one high school identified in the district, and there is other high schools are directly belong to those all middle schools that are under the public Bronx Borough High School. So only one high school is supervised by district office, which is very local. There's a borough-wide office by other high schools like Doppers. And
Oh, this is district, this is so District 7.
Seven, right? That's
Yeah.
Seven.
So- Yeah.
that's the ones that we're responsible for, District 7.
District 7, and there are some
Have
borough.
Okay.
Yeah, so you got South Bronx
We
Prep,
all young.
you got Bronx
We all be
Letters.
But we all be marching.
So,
That's South Bronx.
That's South Bronx High School,
Or used to be, huh?
so it doesn't that belong to District 7?
it depends on this.
School belongs, there is one school that's under the district, that goes with all the elementary and junior high school. And then the other schools, like Samuel Gompers, South Bronx High School belongs to the borough office high school. So that's the only separation. Yes.
I learn something new all the time. That was my alma mater, I graduated from there, that's why I was wondering. That was some 50 years ago that I graduated.
So, I'm a little confused. So, are you saying that the district that you're referring to is not the community board district?
So
It has different boundaries.
So, no, it's so different reporting. So there's one high school in the district that reports to District 7. There are other high schools that are in the district reports to the borough office of Bronx High School.
So, but that's what I'm asking. So, District 7 is not confined strictly to the boundaries of Community Board 1.
It is,
Oh, it is.
it is.
The same boundary.
Right, but it does not necessarily, that's normally district offices don't normally oversee high schools. They only oversee in junior high schools and elementary schools. That is unique and because it's that school also has other grades in it, that's 6, 7, 8,
of the classic high schools, we have South Bronx, you have Gompers, you have Smith.
Right, they're all,
Those are the only ones that come to mind.
that come to mind immediately, get reports too. Exactly.
I can read off so we have Bronx Haven High School, which is on 151st Street. You got my Haven Community High School, which is on 455 Southern Boulevard. You got my Haven Village Prep, which is on 701 St. Anne's, Bronx Regional High School,
Bronx Regional,
which is on James A. Polite. Health Opportunities,
That should be out of.
Go to Bronx.
Polite Ave.
Yes.
That's 163rd.
There is,
You got Health Opportunities on Gerard. That's ours, right?
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Bronx Legacy Concourse Village West. I'm gonna say Dream Charter School, even though it's not on the list. International Community High School, which is a 345 Brook Avenue. Mott Hall High School, which is on Bathgate Avenue.
That's way
Is
out.
that us?
Because we
That
could
should be
also
Community
do
Board
is split into groups and we could just have fun with it, go to schools, give them information.
No, that's under us, actually.
Bathgate
That's not
Avenue.
us.
And figure, you know, ways to just implement these
So,
programs
yeah.
and get
You know,
more people.
oh, sorry. A lot of the ones that you were reading are like within, for example, yeah, South Bronx, yeah, right. They split them up.
The-
I was just gonna raise, another separate point outside of the schools. I was just curious to know if we were still adding to the agenda, or we were,
Of course, I'm
Yeah.
always open to adding anything that you guys want to add here that we could work on for you.
yeah, because, I had two proposals, two ideas that I wanted to put here. Someone reached out to me about, Yankee Stadium, tickets, and that community boards have like some discretion over determining like groups or organizations and stuff like that for a scholarship. And so I wanted to like just lift that out and see if that's
Yeah.
something we could talk about. And secondly, I also wanted to really hone in and focus on, the demographic outside of high schools. I did do some research in between last meeting and this meeting. And, I went to the Bachman office, which is the business outreach, center. And I got a contact. I got to learn a little bit about like the work that they do. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
no,
think that's something we
definitely.
can talk
I
about.
remember you mentioned that about the entrepreneurial development that you want to do. Yeah, we could bring all. The high school was mainly for the kids that's 18 that don't have the resources when they come out. But we are gonna touch base with 18 to 26. Now I need to find a way how to engage with those.
Yeah.
And that would be, you know, social media, us going to probably the colleges, speaking, you know, and stuff like that. So we could definitely find ways to interact with 18 to 26 out of high school. So I'm open to any ideas of how you want to engage with them other than social media. You mentioned like the tickets, so that's something that we're really looking into to see what program.
Yeah, expand more on the Yankee tickets thing.
Yeah,
It was an inquiry I received. I was a little confused by it. But my understanding is that like community boards in general, like they, there's like a program.
maybe let me.
Yeah.
So the community, Yankees, organization reaches out to community boards to ask if we have 5 nominees that we want to nominate to receive a $750 stipend for those who are young people like going college bound. And before this committee was created, this was historically dealt with the Education Youth Committee. And those applications went out and they have a deadline that's probably coming up pretty soon. And so that's a conversation with this committee, and I guess Education Youth Committee was under Hakeem Maya to review those applications.
I think
And
that
make-
falls under youth and education.
That's not
I mean, we'll be collaborating soon, definitely, with education. I've been wanting to work this at the time, but we definitely going to be collaborating with them and probably do shorter, saying, probably collaborate. with them. But, we could definitely look into that to see, how it could align with us anyway.
But to add to
That's
that,
definitely good.
if I may, Chair, there are no tickets to games
Oh,
that come with any of that particular program.
No, we've had tickets though.
Well, I mean, but he asked, there's two separate things.
Oh,
or like if we
I'm
give
explaining
tickets
to
to
them, you
our
mix the
game.
two of those things together. I want to make sure that it's separate. Now, a secondary thing is that there has been time where the foundation has made recommendation, has made tickets available. And there is, that you see our guidance from the Borough President's Office, how those tickets can be disseminated, whether it's disseminated to organizations and not to individuals under the public. So, when those, so it is a recommendation that usually when the Yankee Club organization makes tickets for a game available to community board members. You see, we received guidance from the Borough President's Office. Those tickets are likely be made available to organizations, youth service organizations, and not to board members as under the conflict of interest rules.
But the last time we got tickets, it was from, I don't remember the parents.
Sure. So I'm articulating this. Yeah, we have not got tickets. Sure.
We did. Remember we got those tickets for the holidays, for the gifts.
You come to me next.
That's not tickets, that's not tickets.
You come to me
Oh,
next.
we have tickets specific.
Bye.
Oh, I thought you was looking while.
Yes.
Individuals,
Why?
youth who want to go in and say, hey, to that winter funding line, that's open to the kids that are online for the rest.
Yeah, so on a separate note, guys, I work with the Bronx Young Democrats. I'm not sure if any of you guys have heard of them, or you probably know them. Yeah. Okay. Tyreek Israel is the president now. I'm connected with him, and I've been to like a lot of their events. Me and him are trying to put together like a basketball 3-point contest. And I want this committee, to be in partnership with that. They're really similar to like what we're doing now. They do a lot of community service. They go around the schools, they host different tournaments, sports tournaments. I know, what's your name again? Michael, you were talking about baseball tournaments and baseball leagues. That's something I feel like that we could collaborate with them. They're like literally like our age, in the young adult range. So they always host like seminars and stuff like that, teaching, the community about ways to vote and different, other civic engagement avenues. So I've been working with him. Right now, our project, we're trying to come up with a 3-point contest. I brought it up to him. I'm gonna see if I can get him on because he wanted to introduce himself. So I'm gonna call him again, and if he hops on, then he'll just introduce, what he does and who he is. And we can just build a relationship from there. But that's what I wanted to say. Bronx Young Democrats, they're on Instagram as well.
I think that if I may,
Definitely.
right, if I may, I think that is a big opportunity to get some pointers about how to do civil engagement.
Definitely do that too, don't worry.
I mean, baseball's not that popular as basketball is.
Oh, no, baseball.
I mean, a lot of people love basketball,
Yeah, I know,
and
basketball.
football. Either way.
Fundraisers. That's what we're trying to do. Just make money for the hood.
But aside from, because now that you're saying sports, I think we might be able to differentiate ourselves from other community boards, whatever. We might take a different approach. I have a thought. We should do sports, but we should also encourage, our young adults to look into other careers, because the situation is, you know, Black and Hispanic kids, male or female, they think that the only way is through a sport.
I mean, it's only 12 slots on the Pistons.
Right. It's a very small number of people that make it, you know. You may be gifted enough to do it, you know, and we're not trying to discourage people from doing that, but I feel like that gets lost where, you know, they're not presented, you know, you could be an engineer, you could be
Oh, yeah.
a lawyer, you could be, you know, an accountant, things like that, which are necessary jobs, you know, for society to
Even state jobs,
function,
city
state
jobs.
jobs,
Of course,
you
that's
know.
why I mentioned there, like job promotion, job opportunity. We could actually do like weekly letters, brochures, and where we could always give out updates like, hey, this city test is out this month, or this city, you know, it's always city exams that the kids would do.
I think if we can find organizations or, you know, people in general that are from here that have those types of careers, and we can get them in front of some of the young adults, because it's always good to see it. I mean, you can call it that, but
Because we will have to go to like to find people, but we could probably coordinate with like, let's say sanitation, the career resources in sanitation, they could come by, let them know
and
instruction.
I'm thinking even bigger than that. So not necessarily sanitation. Even
No,
like
yeah, no,
school.
even like, yeah, no,
Right,
that's like,
you put them in front of the kids of the neighborhood. So
right.
as an example, you have a little assembly in school, and you know, somebody comes forward, hey, I'm so and so, I'm an accountant or whatever, an engineer, things like that, an architect. This I'm from here, blah blah blah. So the kids can see that, because I feel like that's something that
Bringing in speakers and all.
right.
Yeah.
Not like interventionists, but like people that can come in and just talk to them. My middle school had this thing called Old School Time, where every Friday they brought in a speaker from a different career path, or
There you go.
trajectory, and like they would speak to us for like 2 hours.
Discussion.
Yeah, and we had to ask questions. You know, we had to be super attentive the whole time. But it taught us a lot about, you know, what was out there. Like,
That's really important because a lot of kids that have family members that
Right.
or friends and family that actually take these routes.
One situation that I saw is in our district, there was a young man who, when he was in college, he was a basketball player, but he got an injury. And that happens often. And when Plan A doesn't work, how do we get these youth Plan B? He was able to become a coach. Now he coaches middle school. Luckily, somebody was able to sponsor him and he was able to get his degree. If it wasn't because of that sponsorship, he would have been totally lost. Because once those these coaches are good at recruiting. And sometimes they even recruit extra. But when you're a student athlete, if you don't have that plan B in college, once that coach drops you, many of them end up dropping out. And I think that's one of the biggest gaps. But now, as a middle school coach, he's able to gear some of these youngsters into, I think athletes is great. I was an athlete back in college. I was on the swim team. See, but I met even my friend, she was in gymnastics. She got hurt. You know what gymnastics is, right? And she became a paraplegic. Okay, yeah, well, these are realistic things that nobody likes to deal with, but she was able to later on do some partial recovery. And now she's also able to coach some of the young girls. See what I'm saying? But I noticed that that's been the big controversy with all these colleges, that they recruit, these coaches are very good for grabbing them. But what happens when they do get that injury, or when they just simply can't keep up the status of that Pioneer One? If your coach sees you can't keep that status, out you go out of it. And they don't, where do these youth go? Where do they do? And you're bringing up a good point.
Appreciate what everyone had to say. You know, and I think this is why, like at the last meeting, one thing we mentioned was doing some asset mapping
Yes.
of the community so that we can understand what are the resources that exist within the district, so that then we can promote them and get the word out. You know, and I might be off here, but is that the intention behind the action item?
Oh, yeah, that was basically why I wanted to, find all the, sensors. So when I create that big map, we could pinpoint it and just put all the schools that's around there, just so we could get familiar. And if we have to do rallies and march, we see where will be the closest place and where a lot of people could come in together without traveling too far. I was trying to find the best map to actually enlarge, because I do have people that make posters for me. But I couldn't find it, like a good map. I was thinking the subway map.
So we
Of the
reached out,
South
we
Bronx.
reached out to the Brooklyn's office, getting large district specific map, some of the three neighborhoods that we represent overseas, with very detailed street drawings that will provide you with, at the request of the chair of Fort Worth, Mount Haven, Melrose, and Hill and Oil. We could get multiple copies of each neighborhood, each committee, so you know exactly when there are presentations that we can actually ideally put this on, and we expecting to see that by tomorrow. And when once we have that, it will help. I can actually multiple copy sets for this specifically. I also shared the with you and shared with Marissa, all the committee chairs, the demographics of the district. We're the largest, according to the map, according to the census document, we're the largest community board in the board. We have over 100,000 constituents that this community board serves. Others don't come as close. I think they're about 20,000 or 20 to 15,000 short. So that's my understanding, and that's people who live here. So these are people who come to work here, who come to here, so this is extremely densely populated.
Yep.
Nice.
There you go.
The night shift.
That's what I was gonna say right there. If you wanna start somewhere, it should be all the developments.
This meeting, I want to talk about action. We already spoke about the last two meetings about what we do. Now we have to think about how we engage. How we're gonna put this all to work. With the approval first, and then, then we move forward. But,
You don't need a.
It's you, it's your thing, Gary.
I thought this was something that like I have to go, like what you said,
This
I
is
have
you
to
and your
do the
committee,
motion.
Actually,
So yeah, you wanna do, the stuff with sports, right? You mentioned, sports. Well, you too, because you told me that a long time ago. But
I was
no,
doing that myself
yeah.
with the kids, not necessarily.
Right.
No.
We can still try to find ways to engage, because at the end of the day, it's not only one person that's gonna be able to talk to everybody. So, your side, you could, anybody who feels that passionate, or even make it, you could always hit me up. You could always brainstorm on how we're gonna interact with kids with sports. I have a cousin who graduated from St. Raymond's, played baseball in Atlanta. So it's just like I have, I have family that we could talk to, interact with. That's something that we could do, because at the end of the day, a lot of the voice that they're gonna move. Right? So that's, like I said, we all young and we go out there.
Question. So I'm wondering, similar to what we're thinking about activating the space and utilizing the space. So something I brought up at senior and Asian committee. So something for like youth and ed, or the young adults committee, is how do we activate this space where we can host events for our young adults, right? So like what's interesting for a young adult, and how do we bring in to figure out where we don't have to pay, for these resources, right? Understand that like budget is not as a big of a budget to like fund these things, but like how do we tap into the surrounding organizations and agencies and say, hey, we want to host this event in our space, provide some food, maybe some games, a game night, for our 18 to 24 spades competition, something like that. And have it done here, and then create a good vibe, and like go to, because this is a central location. So and one of the things I heard was like, oh, the night shift developments, which is true. Like you have a lot of 18 to 24-year-olds, 26 who might, we go out and we fly and we be like, yo, check this event out, come through. We might even get an incentives, maybe like, I know Dream likes to do a lot of things where they contribute. So if we say, hey, would you like to contribute some gift cards? We could say like, yo, we incentivize it. You come, we'll give out some gift cards. Something like that. Like think about how to activate the
I know a lot
space.
of
And you can start to young people, and then, also build off the plan. And you can bring them, that's how you hook them in,
Yeah.
and be like, all right, now, register to vote.
Instead of vote.
Right, that's
Mm.
exactly what
Sure.
your 3 point. You
Yeah.
can start seeing
Yeah.
when exactly the voting starts, so if they have kids that's younger, we could at least have them register.
Right.
And where you could have like a link tree, or it
Yeah.
could be like a QR code,
Yeah.
and where they could just go before they even start the game.
Yeah.
Nobody's playing.
So
They
you
vote, they
register.
register to vote, we have to make it, we have to like have the biggest turnout in this area. And we could do it, we actually put it out there.
One suggestion that I'll make for that is during the summer, we had a registration to vote campaign. That was when those quedamos in the park, put up a screen, and we had a computer set, a Wi-Fi computer that people could automatically vote, register.
Are we,
And I bet you the youth would like that.
yeah, no, that'd be amazing. Are we able to host anything on like St. Mary's Park, like if we was to do like a movie night, like with a big projector?
Now, that would attract a
And
lot
where we
of folks.
could, where we could have, basically like, young activists, or like, how you have a Baker Polk, and just people just talking about, the importance of voting, and that would bring everybody.
Crazy, and how to tap into the 18 to 20.
That would be
I think they
something.
would love that, especially during the summertime, because they're out there anyways.
Right.
Through the summer, they're hanging out all out there and everything. And we were able to get actually a staff person for the Board of Elections to set up a table, and they had a template, the tablets? They had the tablets out there, and all people did was now you got somebody who's gearing. See, a lot of people, especially the youngsters, when you're about 18 years old and you've never voted, it's not that they don't want to vote, it's that they don't know how to
Right,
register.
or they're not just engaged.
Yeah.
They're not valued.
Mhm. And they had the tablets out there, and there was a staff from the Board of Elections that set up a table, and we put up a screen, because that was a movie night anyways, but they're hanging out there, especially on a nice summer day. And that's it, because you
And
used to have a lot of activities, and they're active.
I definitely agree with the voter drive and being creative about having like a voter drive. And I hate to disarm the momentum here, but I also think that it's very, very important for us to equip young adults with knowledge around their rights. And rights is very general. It's housing rights, it's labor rights, it's rights around cops, like people need to know their rights. School does not equip you to understand your rights. And I think the community board could be that hub.
No, definitely, especially with the space that I was mentioning about my cousin. I think that's how we could make like videos and content, just explaining the importance and just making like clips or ideas, like like little movie clips or just little things. It's just to show the importance.
Yeah, I have a camera. I do a lot of video production stuff, especially before I became a teacher. So like I have resources, I have audio equipment, and I'm definitely willing to contribute whatever to the board, to this committee.
Especially when we're trying to do like any we're trying to figure out any information, we're walking around and trying to get like footage of us doing the work
Yeah,
and showing
sure,
them.
sure.
That,
I edit and everything, so I can definitely be an asset in the department.
Hosting something in St. Mary's for Know Your Rights. That'd be dope. Maybe if you get Colin Kaepernick to come out. Know Your Rights campaign.
yeah, no, I know.
Dream is really
Basketball player.
I'll send you a link. Send you the link.
Okay.
They love to do those Know Your Rights workshops.
Okay.
Okay, and they'll put on a Know Your Rights weekend and tell these kids, I mean, it's quite simple. What do you do when a cop stops? What are the things that you should say? What are the things that you shouldn't say? And you will have lawyers and everything from the Bronx defenders who would love to set up a table. And I mean, we have people of all ages, because they'll set up the pamphlets. They got official Know Your Rights, but now I belong to that committee. I'm gonna send you their link. Carmen Pinheiro is the community director.
Yes.
And I'll send you that network, and they would love to set up a table, and they're right here in our neighborhood, in our vicinity. The Bronx Defenders right here on 161st Street. And they're always giving Know Your Rights workshops. And I noticed that a lot of kids, when they come, believe it or not, it's the kids who are bringing the adults. I noticed that the whole community, when you have a lot of youngsters who are gonna come to get the info, you watch and see the whole community starts to get involved. And I'll give you that link, and you could even Google it, the Bronx Defenders, okay? And
I
they love,
think
they're very good
We
at that.
gotta, create a second the master.
I also think,
Oh, Audrey, yeah.
but like also like, don't feel like you need to wait for a committee meeting to happen to spring into action, right? Like, you have this idea about like, hey, know your rights. That's something that we could start next week, you know, with standing outside. Third Avenue is a hub of young people who pass by at 3, 4 o'clock. I see young people in groups. And it's something that like, hey, you might wanna have an organization come on and just table in front. And be like, hey, can we, and maybe one of the committee members with them to say also, and we have this committee, you know, should come through. This is what we're trying to do. We wanna get involved. So like, remember, like this is something that like, you don't have to wait for a committee to happen. You are the people who are like the leaders of what's happening. It's so crazy.
The ball rolling,
Get
you
it.
know,
It doesn't take nothing but to just go out there and like, you know, pen pad, lace your shoes up and you hit the floor running.
precisely.
So with that being
I'm
said.
saying, I'm dying to play some basketball.
And that could be.
Yeah, you can do a ball
He
game.
talks a lot, he talk about it a lot.
You can do it, you can do it.
Barbecue, St. Mary's,
sure.
there's grills there. You know, get some free hot dogs and burgers from Western Beef.
Sure.
That's the goal, always a practice.
Yeah, I know.
That's true.
Well, you know, Friends of St. Mary's, I haven't been to their meeting. Oh, yeah. So they're trying to like clean up the park, right? I guess that's their overall goal.
They're trying to activate
Okay, so make it a space for, you know.
fun activities. But then sometimes the activation and making it fun is impacted by the issues that the park has. So, but the Friends of St. Mary's is a separate group who wants to like say, let's activate it, let's create all these events.
It's crazy because St. Mary's never had.
That's a fine.
How long?
We did gravel to clean up, and that was the
Oh,
campaign
yeah,
that
that's
Mark.
when Biden came out like.
No, even before.
Yeah, he had gave like. Syringes.
But I was gonna say, you could work, we could work with them because they're looking for events to put up at the park from the last meeting, that's what I remember.
Yeah.
So we could design an event, it should be very specific of what we want, what information we wanna get out there, but we could take advantage of that, of them, work with them.
So-
Not bad to say take advantage of them, but take, work with them so we could, get something going.
So what would be the first thing that we would want to do? Chris, all day?
Oh, sorry.
Like what is it that we could start? Like you said, an event. So
Okay.
like.
Well, we were talking about a lot of things. Like y'all were saying y'all wanted to do a resource fair. Then we said we was going to do a job fair, career fair. I still, I like the arts. So, maybe some sort of concert or like maybe like the schools is great.
Do you guys
Drop-in
wanna
centers.
Do you guys wanna do an event first, or you wanna do outreach first? Like go to the schools, or you guys just wanna host an event?
I
Maybe.
like outreach.
Yeah, the outreach. And isn't
So
it like some youth
outreach,
shelters
like
over
y'all wanna
here
host
too?
those schools, or the like colleges first?
Do we have youth shelters over here, right? Like
We
shelters
do.
for young people? So can we go
Yes.
to those?
Yes, we do. We have.
I know the Covenant houses are over here,
That's a
right?
good question.
Isn't the Covenant houses over here?
There's not that many, but I know there is. There's like 2 or 3.
We should probably hit those first.
May I ask a question? What about starting something very basic, or even like, what's this park right back here?
Mm.
That park with the swings right back here.
Mhm. I like
Okay,
that.
and I always see youngsters hanging out there, and it's nearby, near the office and everything. No, it's St. Mary's is good, because I like the widespread space of St. Mary's, and it is a main place.
Right,
But-
the location we will have
What
to
about this park right back
right
here, that
here,
maybe
okay,
we'll
okay,
start
okay.
small and then keep expanding, and as it gets larger.
Right.
But bottom line, it's next to the office, And it's right back here. It's got, isn't there a little basketball court there, a little handball court or something there too? And they got swings and everything
A
there.
little tennis area.
Okay, now this Yolanda Garcia Park over here towards, is that still our district? The Yolanda Garcia Park on Melrose, in 158? Oh, it's not? It's already joined the line, right? Yeah, I think that that's really between 159 and 160th Street and Melrose.
It's
Yeah,
like
Yolanda Garcia
158.
Park.
It's like 158.
Yeah.
Cause
yeah,
that's
is
right.
that still our district?
It's on Melrose.
Oh, okay,
right?
okay, the line is already being drawn, okay, okay.
I like
that's
that part. They
because
got
I-
a seesaw.
Nice park, but we're gonna stick with the parks in our
Yeah.
political district.
Period, queen.
That's how politics works.
Period.
Alright, so, sorry.
I think, no, just to what, Marjorie.
Oh, Archie.
Margie and Clarissa said, like, doing something like really basic and just hitting the ground running. I think outreach requires a little less planning than like an event. I'm still in the works of like trying to form this 3-point contest, in terms of logistics, but like outreach, I feel like we can just get a table, kind of pick a location, like, really quickly and go out and kind of do it. Obviously, I think we would need to know like what information we want to
Right, that's what.
give and like in what medium we want to be able to distribute it. So we can figure that out fairly quickly while we plan an event, which might take a little, more thought.
No, yeah, definitely. Jobs. Like, I'm ready to go now. Basic to me is too basic. I don't even do nothing basic. I feel like we could really go out there, like, and make things work. Like, I mean, if you're busy, then that's cool too, like, but I don't think anything should be basic. I feel like we got work to do. I feel like voting is important. We're about to hit November. June also, there's a couple election local. So, I mean, it could be planned out, make sense of it, of course.
And
But
No, not basic in terms of just
No,
like,
no, and the thing, because I hear, because there could be two pieces. It could be like an events committee and the outreach committee within the committee, right? The subcommittee, so to speak. But I think one of the things so as an organizer, right, and which is the goal, the angle that I come from a lot of the times, I think about not doing things for people, but allowing them to do the things for themselves. And one of the things that strikes me is like, before we go out and plan what we think 18 to 20-year-olds need, we need to find out what it is that they actually need from them. Which is like, maybe there's a survey, right, that we create to say, what are you looking for? Is it housing? Is it justice resources? Is it union rights? Is it voting? What are you interested in? And getting that feedback to come through and say, look, we got a consensus. This is what they ask, right?
I agree with that point.
That's a great.
And then being able, because, it's like being a school teacher and having the kids and you want to teach them a curriculum, but they don't really, so it's like, how do you want to learn this? What do you think is, what do you want to read about? As long as you're reading, but you meeting the goal. But anyway, like, getting to know like where our kids are, like where our young people are, because we could sit here and decide for them the whole time, but they can voice what they want, what they need. So just capturing that somewhere to be like, okay, this is where we're gonna go. So the ideas are great of organizing, and I just said, activating the space. You want to get the ideas from them, and then put all your
so we could do
energy.
the social media first, I guess. And then we'll do like surveys on social media. It could be Facebook, it could be Instagram. And on Instagram now they have like these group stuff that you could make your decision. I guess we go from there.
Yeah.
So social media is, because you've been quiet,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's fine. Take the floor.
No, I was gonna say, I think a good place to start are like organizations like the Bronx sports, because they already have like this. They probably are a little bit more into it and have built some sort of rapport with the students that are there. And what things they're talking about, what things they're interested in. And I think like maybe connecting with them first, or these are kind of the places in outreach. It might be a little bit easier than high schools, in terms of like getting that kind of connection for like when it comes to, I've done outreach in high schools, and it's a much harder than like going to programs and things like that, because it's on a smaller scale. Like maybe have like 30 students and things like that, but definitely I feel like the door and Bronx works, so I think those are both the district. Those are good places to start when it comes to kind of engaging them and also finding out what is it that they're interested in and what their needs.
Right, so we could actually have a brochure or something like that. You can have a QR code that takes you directly to a survey that we create. Right, a Google form. We could do that. We could start doing that outside right here or on the hub on 149. And we have a little tent, which should be coming, you know.
Everything's ready. We
Yeah,
have.
right.
For the team.
We have resources, we have location, and we
Banner,
know what we want to
QR
do.
code.
Right.
We just gotta make the survey.
Well, it should be, right, if you do the surveys, we could do that quickly, and that way we know exactly what, kids want.
I want to add to, in creating those surveys, so you want to create surveys and then you want to create the next steps behind the survey. So if we're doing surveys, maybe we can also identify who are the organizations that we're going to distribute these surveys to. And like there has to be like a system of like we're distributing surveys, but we need them also. Or if it's QR code, it's like how do we follow up on it that it's ready?
The QR code. Anything we create is our QR code right now, directed to social media accounts. We could actually also add to that if there's a survey that that's created. So that's something.
We could take the opportunity to introduce like the committee itself and say, hey, we're from Community Board One, the Young Adults Committee. We're looking to figure out what you guys need in the neighborhood, whatever. Here's the QR code. We have a survey, fill it out, whatever. We could also have a message. You could even put directly voter registration right there. So we have the survey and, voting is important. Here you go, whatever. But that's an idea, and we could use outside because, like Clarissa said, there's a lot of people,
Right,
a lot of young adults that walk by that come from the hub too. But if they're up here, that they live here, I think, in general. So, the hub is a little bit more different, people from different areas, but we still have a large continuum of young adults that travel.
So we have someone coming in tomorrow also because one of the things that's high in our district are sexually transmitted disease rates. And so I'm not sure what that number is for the population of 18 to 24. So we think about how many young families in 18 to 24 we have, like young parents, and how tap into those organizations that serve young parents as well. So like I know the North does that. Planned Parenthood, who's here in the hub, does that. So there are different organizations that we can tap into. But like thinking about the strategy, when we think about 18 to 24, where are we going? Like who are we, being really strategic about where we need to go? Like, is there a connection where we could even like, and this is, I'm going too far with this, or maybe not. But when you think about 18 to 24 who are in prison on Rikers Island right now, like how do we tap into that population too, right? How are they impacted? What can we do as a community to, having the connections with city agencies? How do we impact whatever's happening with that population? So there's so many things. So like push the reach of like dream big, right? It's something that we say all the time. It's like dream big, right? There's no limit. So if there was no limit, like what would you want to do?
Like a rec center on every corner,
Right.
where there would be a movie night at one,
Right.
basketball games on the other one, baseball practice on the other one, events on every corner. Where students can be, youth can be safe. I was gonna say, I'll get started on a survey. And I'll hit everybody up just for feedback on the questions that I have in there. Do you know if we can put like a picture, on a Google
Mhm,
form? You can?
You can, yeah, you could
So
put like
we take a
pictures
quick
and
picture
gifs.
of like who we are, so they have a quick.
Yeah, do you guys have one already?
Just
What is-
Wait, I don't remember. Did we take one?
Before, I made it for my housewarming for the RSVP.
That's what I found.
But
With
like,
like the picture and the gifts and stuff.
That's what I found, how you could do a picture.
I'm so yours is the same thing.
Yeah.
you gotta be in the picture
Wait,
too.
what's your
My name is Marie Francisca. I'm from Ojate Group organization. So our mission is to alleviate poverty, and we work a lot with the youth as well. And right now we have two programs that is with the youth, which is our Beyond Rising, that is an internship for undocumented participants. So we place them like in Fordham University and Lehman College, where they get skills as well as different type of skills when it comes to working. And then we have Rise Leadership Program. Our Rise Leadership Program is a program where we provide them with art and technician and tech. And they learn different things with the arts and technology. And then in the end of the program, they get to go to Costa Rica. Like this year, they're going to Costa Rica and Panama to do a project where everything paid.
Oh, that's amazing.
So we work closely with a lot of youth and stuff like that. So like, let me come to see, and
Yeah, thank you.
I can probably help you
Yeah.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
great.
we also have. Yeah, no.
I'd like to have a
And like that, we can help you guys out. I see that you guys need with assist incentives, like things like that.
Wonderful, thank
I'm
you.
here. And
So I heard you say undocumented participants, and is that young people? Like
yes, 16 to 20.
16.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm gonna, when I get to the immigration committee, which is next Friday,
Yeah.
I would like to show them your.
Yeah.
Because those are some of the things we're talking about, how do we reach the immigration youth population? Okay, so I definitely, thank you so much.
Yeah, no,
Wonderful.
I'm here. You guys can contact me and I can share some information.
So you have to move like.
I can share that, and you guys can go to those tabling. Like I've been, since the weather got nice, I've been in already 5 tabling. College Fair, BMCC, and BCC, and so, yeah. Where you can target a lot of. And also, I could connect you to the, health department. They have these fairs coming up, and they give incentives like $60. And right there, you could give them your information to the youth, and they got your contact so that you can reach out to them, things like that.
Tell Thomas CB1 said hi.
I'm like, oh, I'm looking at stuff.
So, working on the survey.
The survey.
Thank you so much.
So I was
for being
thinking
here.
that, to like.
No, really. Like, can I do like young adults come in?
Event.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what you're
Oh,
doing?
something.
But you guys
That's
can
so, that's
Yeah,
because-
no, not Michigan.
Trans girl from the Trinity.
Just so that we
It will
won't
be
be
like-
Trans president of Pride Club. Oh, right. So it was not easy. Yes.
Nah, I think
Because I'm a
that's-
president.
We're gonna be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that should be done like.
It's just because
Exactly.
I gotta be.
Exactly.
I don't want
I think that's
to.
number two.
Because like, once we have the
Yeah,
it gives us more access, more reach.
no, that's a fact. I wanted to start because
So is she social media? Sure.
she's tech. She's
Oh,
doing like
tech.
tech,
Tech
technology, yeah, tech communications. She could help us do the form because that's what she's doing right now. She's doing a lot of groups.
That's what she-
That's what she's doing right now for other committees, for other meetings, like groups. But for the youth, yeah, we definitely
I was just
program page to start targeting. And
And you
Yeah.
guys should reach out to,
The thing.
to DYCC and tell them to provide you guys with all the cornerstone contact information. Cornerstones are the community centers inside the NYCHA facilities.
Okay.
And the youth are there from 6 o'clock all the way to 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
If you guys go to each of those community centers here
They'll
in the Bronx
probably, I
and
have-
speak about your initiative and things, you'll gain a lot of youth. And these youth are involved in gang. Cause I used to work in Murphy, Cornerstone Community Center with the youth. And, it's hard to gain their trust, but as soon as you know that they have someone to lean on, you have them in your hands. So I think you guys.
You should also think about joining the committee.
Yeah. I have also a lot of great friends and friends that I will want to work with too. So I'm gonna definitely start reaching out to them. So that we can definitely get things going. Yeah, definitely.
And anything.
Does anybody know Beyonce?
They're gonna be here, right?
They used to always be in my center hungry.
So we gonna get you in the kitchen.
And I'll leave my center at.
That's true. Free pizza will get me under. It's a fact.
That's true. Wingstop. We gotta bring Wingstop to the meetings. The young people like Wingstop.
I always make sure I have pizza box.
Yeah, I
That's
need
smart,
chicken
yeah.
wings. Chicken wings. The young kids like protein and meat. Maybe we could get Rick Ross in.
Okay, that would get you.
Alright. What about Fat Joe? We should have Fat Joe in the hand.
Fat Joe will come though. Fat Joe would
He
then
was
come and
happy.
relax him.
Can we invite Remy Mom and Cardi and A Boogie from this district? Where's A Boogie? Now we need to throw a concert.
That would be
Alright, guys, it's been great. Had a great meeting. As well. But that means we have a lot of work to do for next meeting.
Do you still want to take a quick picture?
Yeah, of course.
We gotta adjourn first.
Oh, got you.
Yeah, we have a lot of work to do. I would really, 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 really like for you guys to just text me and hit me with all the ideas that you guys have, Mike, and so we could, I'm available. I drive. I'll pull up. I'm always outside. I'm home.
Outside.
So I'm ready. It's about to get nice. And I'm with everything.
Young chick.
Yes, that's exactly what I wanted to say.
I don't want to say something. I think that with, I guess the outreach, I think what a good way to do that is utilizing the space. Maybe when we reach out to them, we can have something here and then do the voter registration.
Right.
Bring food, etc. And have I don't know, meet and greet or.
Steve, is it possible that we add 18 to 26 checklist on the pantry? So that way when I see that, I could give them information regarding that. Would that be?
Or call them.
Or call them. Or they have, some of them put their email, so we could always send the email. Because instead of just having AD, I think I got AC, which I got? AC, household, children, adult, seniors. So can we actually put the age range, so that way maybe we could gauge, yeah, maybe, does that make sense?
That's fine.
Yeah, so, yeah, just to say, just so we could give information out for parents who come and they have kids at home that are not doing nothing and they screaming at them all day because they home. They be like, yeah, my. No, right. Yes.
We are developing a newsletter and an e-cert list that's going. So I'm sure that's another way that we can publicize some of the events and stuff that's going on. So as long as, like you said, if we figure out, think big and start figuring out what things are possible in order so that can be publicized. And so we are going to start extracting that information from our every aspect, like everybody's emails here, then I get the emails here, but everybody who gets food pantry, everybody who we contact come to our community board, committee meetings, et cetera, et cetera. So we can probably try to adjust it, just give us some time to make sure to make it something working. Because, you know, sometimes all that information may take a while for somebody to sign up for pantry, but we can make it happen.
Yeah, no, you see where it says like 18 to 26, they could just put 2 or
And
3, like,
we
you know
should,
what I
but-
mean?
We should invite some of the volunteers, some of the committee members here to get that information too
Yes.
at the pantry.
Is anybody volunteering this weekend? It's quiet.
Andrew?
Yeah, the pantry. You haven't done design. You should. You can.
Is it out? It's here, right?
It's here. It's right here in front on Saturday. It's quick. It's quick and easy.
I'll come.
It's from 11:30. I mean, we have to be here at 10:30 to get everything organized, and then by 11:30, that's when we start.
I always have so much fun.
Yeah, I have fun too.
We have a
We
lot
always
of
have
fun
fun.
together. But this Saturday, some of us are gonna go to.
Some people are going to the Bronx on Saturday to Salamanca.
Yeah, I'll be here. I'll definitely be. I'm gonna bring some volunteers.
Yeah, no,
Like
I
community.
actually every other.
You gonna volunteer? Oh, she busy Saturday. Oh, she got burned. Sorry. Where you going to Zoba de Cuna?
Vice chair nomination. I'm unsure. No, yeah, I'm unsure. I have like 2 in my head. But anybody here would love to be my vice.
Public member, so somebody who's not.
Oh.
Since she comes Saturday?
Oh, okay,
She said she gonna come volunteer on Saturday too.
okay.
Hello. You know she from the Hunts Point area. This
That's
area. It's the community. You know,
It's actually, I'm like, it's the distinctions by district.
Probably committee board too then,
Yeah, we were trying to figure out the map.
Yeah.
Figure out the map.
We'll tell them to let you.
Special permission. Just a couple blocks, literally.
No, we're gonna be done. I just need a motion. Can I have a motion? The vice,
So the vice chair of the committees have to be a person who's a public member, which means a member who's not appointed by the borough president of the city council to be on the actual community board. And there's someone who makes a commitment to chair the meetings on behalf of the committee when the chair is not available. And it's a term appointed by the full board chair for 1 year. So it has the full responsibility as chairing the meetings and helping to lead the board's efforts. So yeah, you out here?
so you'll be my vice. Well, we only have 1 meeting a month, and then, well, 2. We really want to have technical, because then we have the board, the full board, which you have to be there as well. Yeah. So those only 2 days out the month. So Thursdays will be my meeting. The second Thursday of the month is always my meeting.
Second, Thursday.
And then the last meetings that we have, which is the full board meetings at the ending of the month. Unless there's a holiday, we switch it around, but we'll know before that.
Thomas will be like, yeah, I know. Yeah, I be so busy and I live all the way down in Long Island.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm like,
Dang.
The whole,
It was the
we sounded like
collective.
I think we should start a group or something. Oh.
Monday, my days off are Mondays and Fridays. Work. But I'll think about it. Let me see. That's fine. I love doing this for the community. Like, I'm big.
The problem, I think that, but you work in the district, so that's fine. You don't have to live in the district as a public member. You will work in the district.
Yeah, I work in the district.
That's it.
Yes, motion.
I, Clarissa, make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
I second the motion. Chris, sorry.
Discussion on the motion? None? All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you guys for
Go.
coming.
Thank you.